facing serious charges. They have this notion that insanity would either lower the severity of their punishment or liberate them from it altogether. That instead of being sent to prison, they would simply be released back into society.
Well, that's true. Some people do think that, and actually, what happens is you get committed. And if it's a violent crime, you're committed as mentally ill and dangerous, and then you go away to a mental hospital, which, in some respects is worse than a prison.
Perhaps with a free psychotherapeutic program to attend on the weekends. This is, of course, a far cry from reality. In the United States, if you're found responsible for a serious offense, but also found not guilty of the crime by reason of insanity, you will be institutionalized at a high-security psychiatric facility. These institutions are without question some of the darkest and most disturbing places in the system.
That is true. But you're not there forever. You remember what happened with John Hinckley? After he shot Reagan, he was just released not too long ago. I mean, he was in there for 30 years, but...
You're not actually suffering from the crippling effects of mental illness. Living in this type of environment will be a mentally agonizing experience. The foresight of what occurs inside these units would make the majority wish to avoid them. But once you are in, it is very hard to get out, and you will have to serve the same, if not a greater amount of time than you would have had to serve at a regular prison.
That's actually true as well. You wind up serving more time because you're committed, and if you have an incurable mental health problem and you are in danger, then there is no end to your commitment.
So to put it briefly, if you commit a serious offense and then pretend to be crazy in order to get away with it, your life from that point forward will be an extremely dark and uncomfortable existence, whether you manage to fool the system or not. But there is one benefit, which is the elimination of capital punishment. The United States cannot execute someone deemed insane.
Well, and the food. The food is better at these facilities, too.
In the time of their offense, which is the only conceivable reason a defendant would cling to this narrative, even after knowing what lies ahead, should it succeed. And this happens to be a notion that ties in closely to the primary subject of this video. It will focus on one particular individual whose interrogation footage is so fraught with blatant trickery that most of the segments presented to you won't even need suggestive commentary. You can simply observe and judge for yourself whether you see authentic behavior or not. But before showing you what pretending to be crazy looks like, we'll briefly show you a genuine case of the criminally insane, or at least a far more convincing one.
This indicates that there is some normal criminally insane. There isn't any normal. Everybody's different. I had one case where my client was a graduate of American University, Ivy League, and she was getting her PhD in psychology, and she thought that people were out to get her, so she put an ad in the paper for 10 bodyguards, and when the guy came to interview for the position, she was going to kidnap the daughter of a very prominent lawyer in town, take her up north, while she gets the ransom money and flees the country. And it was really quite something, but there is no set normal for what a criminally insane person is supposed to be like.
This is 18-year-old Jared Murray, a freshman at East Central University in Oklahoma. On a Wednesday evening in December, he asked fellow student Gennaro Sanchez for a ride to Walmart. Once they got there, Murray pulled out a handgun and made Gennaro drive to an isolated country road where he shot him twice in the head. He then attempted to hitchhike to Canada, but was...
2022 Volkswagen Taos has a lower cost of maintenance than Toyota RAV4. Visit your Volkswagen dealer today and experience the all-new Taos with a starting MSRP of $22,995.
Great taste and power packed to support your immune defenses. Try Centrum Multi-Gummies, now with the new look.
Adin Ross. He is currently the 6th most popular Twitch streamer in the world, and he seems to be going viral every day. But who is he, and why is he so popular? He starts out as a busboy, then befriends LeBron James' son, then becomes friends with T Grizzly, gets himself in the middle of a vicious gang beef in Florida, absolutely pisses off Polo G, and is streaming with literally every popular rapper doing what, you might ask? Well, this. My name is Patrick CC. This is the curious case of Adin Ross. Drink water.
Why do I have a teammate? What the hell?
Me ain't afraid of much, but losing, that would be a drag.
Introducing your champion.
I'm the jump master. Duh. Vámonos. Hot Charging shields.
Reloading. Enemy down.
Reloading.
Listen up, got another squad coming in. Recharging my shields. Patching myself up.
Oh, hell no.
And even get a free return if you decide you don't like the watch that you pick. I think you guys will love it though, and they also have a really cool product called Blue Light Ever Scroll glasses that are sick for if you're working in front of a monitor or even playing a video game.
I'm in the dark on brains. I'm in the darkness, a life big lady.
Watching you take off in first gear is the best thing ever, because you just spin. I can't drive it smooth. It's supposed to spin like crazy.
2 orders of the 10-piece nuggies and 2 Oreo McFlurries. Can I also get 2 apple pies? 2 Big Macs, please. This car revs to 10,000 RPMs. We're talking 851.
Steal.
This car is driven at a total 500, and now we're at McDonald's getting nuggies with the boys. How's it here the first? Come on, baby. Smooth as butter. Smooth as butter. Dude, I'm getting good at this.
Come back here.
How did I?
Bought the NLE chain because you started saying that you wanted to be different. Everybody was claiming NBA, so you started claiming NLE, but you was not Lil Chopper. You was not NLE Chopper. Then you had went and ordered that T Grizzly chain because you big bone and you got dreads and you be trying to talk like you from Detroit, but you are not from Detroit. You have never even been, and no one from down there knows you. You need to stop. Nah, see, this is what I'm talking about. Y'all ain't learned from part 2. You done went and spent $550 of your stimulus check on the old blockchain because them boys done caught you with that OTF chain on in part 2, and they done beat you up. And you still ain't learned your lesson. And I told y'all they still mad by Vaughn. But don't you know if they catch you with this old blockchain on, they might just shoot you this time? About this.
Kids born to teen moms. How different is your life compared to other kids?
A small swarm of bees had gathered on this tennis court, and I was called to remove them. But once I got there, I realized this colony was in more trouble than it seemed. Their queen was dead, and because the bees were so loyal to their queen, they refused to leave her behind. They were still trying to attend to her and take care of her little bee body, so I put the queen's body in the new hive. It took the bees a few minutes to realize she had moved, but once they found her, they rushed to her and started to care for her in the new hive. So I waited for all the bees to get into their new hive, but since this colony was so small already, they needed more than a new queen to survive. They needed to join a new colony. So once I got the bees home, I put them in a standard beehive box. But I couldn't just put them with another colony and a new queen right away, or that could cause confusion, chaos, and fighting among the bees. So I put a layer of newspaper between them. The newspaper would keep the colony safe and separated while the bees got used to each other's scents. So I closed up the hive. A small swarm of bees had gathered on this.
Do you come on, get happy? We're going to the promised land.
What do we got going today?
Old fashioned.
Maple old fashioned. Okay. First step, smoke that glass.
On the other side, forget your troubles,
Bourbon.
just get happy. Let it chase all your cares away. Hallelujah, come on,
Down for
get ready for the
maple.
judgment day.
Maple syrup. Oh, wow. Bitters. Just a dash. Okay. And carb. And top it off with and first cherry.
Forget your troubles and just
Cheers.
Hallelujah, come on, get happy. We're going to the promised land.
What do we got going today?
Maple
old fashioned. Maple old fashioned. Okay. First step, smoke that glass.
Round 1. Beginning ring countdown.
Inside the ring. Sweet. Frag out.
Attention. First blood.
Why is this guy running?
Ultimate's ready to go.
What a weird dude.
Hit the ejector.
I really died. So fucking, oh my god.
Here's part 2 of what it was like being at the Jake Paul fight. I know people are talking about the video of Ben smiling after the fight, but I saw him walking in the back of the stadium after the match, and it looked like he was a bit more disappointed. He was a bit bummed out and tried talking about the positives like, well, at least Tehran got an extra check for the fight. I also want to say he was a very nice guy. I don't think Ben Askren was trying to grab $1 million check and then just lose. I think he really wanted to win the fight, but he just underestimated Jake Paul as a boxer. When I recorded this knockout, it did seem like Ben wasn't completely fine when he got up. I'm not saying the fight 1000% needed to be stopped, but he looked a lot more wobbly in person than he did on the broadcast. I know Ben told the ref he could still fight, but I guess it didn't matter at that point. Now, after winning, Jake Paul was just enjoying life after the knockout. He chatted with Justin Bieber, talked trash to Dana White with Snoop Dogg, and then danced in the ring with his family. At the end, he ran into the locker room and said, "The future of boxing is here." Follow for more videos like this.
That's the whole goal of doing. Like, if you ever want to do something, and when people copy you, they should let you know you're doing it right. Like, you can't get mad at that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the whole goal of doing. Like, if you ever want to do something, and when people copy you, they should let you know you're doing it right. Like, you can't get mad at that.
A few years ago, my grandpa started working with leather. His favorite things to make are gun holsters and purses. But for my birthday, I asked if we could make another belt. He said since I have a brown one, I need to make a black one too. So he cut it all out, made sure it's the right size, and we practiced some stamps. I decided to use the same pattern that we did on my...
We should land there. Looks like fun.
Oh, I'm so done with this game. Holy shit.